Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Bangkok Chili Peppers TV. I am Oda and today I am in Lisbon, Portugal. I will spend here 1.5 days. Let's see how many things I will be able to explore. Let's start with the Torre de Belém, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It stands on the Tejo River and was built more than 500 years ago, between 1514 and 1520, during the time of King Manuel I. It was part of a defensive system designed to protect Lisbon. The style is called Manuelin, with many sea-inspired details. The queue to go inside is very long, so not today. I cannot stand in queue, I will lose the full day. Let's move forward. Now I walk along the Belém Waterfront Promenade. This path connects Belém Tower to the Monument to the Discoveries, the tall building you see in the distance. It's really nice to walk here by the Tejo River, with cafes, boats and many people relaxing. Across the river you can see the Ponte 25 de Abril. This bridge looks a bit like the Golden Gate in San Francisco, and it was inspired by the same style. The statue on the hill is Cristo Rei and Almada. It looks similar to the Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro, and it was built as a symbol of peace. Now I reach the monument to the discoveries called Padrão dos Descobrimentos in Portuguese. It was built to celebrate the great Portuguese explorers from the Age of Discovery. On both sides you can see many statues of real historical figures like sailors, captains, cartographers and poets. They all stand behind Prince Harry the Navigator, who is at the front holding a model of a caravel. I can go to the top of the monument and from here the view is amazing. Down below there is a giant stone compass and a world map called the Map of the Discoveries or Rosa dos Ventos. It symbolically represents the major areas reached by Portuguese explorers around the world. From the top I can see the Tejo River, the Ponte 25 de Abril, the Cristo Rei statue, Belém Tower and the Jeronimus Monastery. From here I can also see a Stadio do Restelo, the home stadium of Belenenses, one of Lisbon's historic football clubs. People gather here curious to explore the giant map of the discoveries under their feet. This is a very beautiful place, the sunlight is so strong. A short walk brings me to the Jeronimus Monastery. Right next to it there is the Maritime Museum and also the Museum of Contemporary Art inside the Centro Cultural de Belém. The monastery is really impressive, the line to enter is very long and I am suffering under the strong sun, but I really want to see it. It was built in the early 1500s during the time of King Manuel I, in the Manuelin style. Inside there is a beautiful church and a large cloister. Here I can find the tombs of Vasco da Gama, the great explorer, and the poet Luís de Camões. The historian Alessandro Herculano is also buried here. This is one of the most important monuments in Portugal and it is definitely worth the wait. And just after the monastery there is the famous shop Pastéis de Belém. It is known for the original custard tarts, but the queue is huge, so not today. Queue everywhere! To move around I use the Lisboa card. It gives access to public transport and free or discounted entry to many monuments. My next stop is the historic Baixia district, exploring its Grand Square, Praça do Comércio. This is one of the largest squares in Europe and it was rebuilt after the Great Lisbon earthquake of 1755. In the center stands the statue of King José I and behind it you can see the Arco da Rua Augusta, the famous gateway that leads into the city streets. Today this square is a popular place to relax, walk and enjoy the view of the river. This square is really big, I really like it. Here is the Lisboa Story Center, an interactive museum that tells the story of the city. It is February, winter in Europe, but here it feels like summer. The sun is strong, people are outside and the city is full of life. Now it's the time for the typical pastel de nata. It's a small custard tart with a crispy pastry and a creamy filling inside. In Lisbon, walking uphill is the rule. Do some training before to come here. I am now at the Convento do Carmo, a Gothic church destroyed in the 1755 earthquake and never rebuilt. It is one of the strongest reminders of Lisbon's past and the view from here is great. Inside the ruins there is also an archaeological museum. Now it is time to move on to the Elevador de Santa Giusta. Built in the early 1900s, it connects Bascia with Shadow and was inspired by the style of Gustave Eiffel. The view from the top is great, but the queue is too long, so I will not take it. I continue along Rua Augusta, a lively pedestrian avenue in the heart of Lisbon. From here I head uphill to visit Castello de São Jorge, passing through narrow streets, steep alleys and small historic corners. The castle stands on one of the highest hills in Lisbon and has medieval origins. It is a calm place to walk with stone walls, towers and gardens right above the city. From the Miradouro do Castelo de São Jorge it's possible to enjoy a great panoramic view over the city, the river and the red rooftops below. It's a perfect spot to slow down and enjoy a local beer. I have to say that the view from here is really amazing. It's time to leave this beautiful spot and head to the Miradouro de São Vicente. It's located near Alfama, one of the oldest neighborhoods in Lisbon, famous for its narrow streets, history and traditional atmosphere. This viewpoint is next to the monastery of São Vicente de Fora and features the statue of Saint Vincent, the patron saint of Lisbon. From here the view opens over the red rooftops, the river and the city below. In the evening people gather here to relax, talk and enjoy the sunset together. With a short walk I reach Miradouro de Santa Lucia, another great viewpoint. I end my first day in Lisbon at a local restaurant enjoying dinner with fado music, the traditional sound of the city. Today it's Monday, a lot of museums are closed, so I decided to visit Mercado da Ribeira. Mercado da Ribeira has two very different souls. The traditional market is the original one. In the morning locals come here to buy fresh fish, meat, fruit and vegetables. This part is all about daily life in Lisbon and has been active since 1892. Right next to it is the Time Out Market Lisboa. This modern food hall brings together many food stands, bars and desserts in one large space. Here it's possible to taste classic Portuguese dishes and modern cuisine from morning until late at night. Breakfast time for me, bread, eggs, ham and of course a Portuguese super bock beer. Now I am ready to start the day. A short bus ride takes me to the Fronteira Palace. It was built in the late 17th century for Dom João de Mascarenhas, a nobleman close to the Portuguese royal court. What makes this place truly special is the area around the palace. The terraces and arcaded walls are covered with large azulejo panels, traditional Portuguese ceramic tiles from the 17th century. These tiles show scenes of daily life, allegories, hunting and kings, all painted in blue and white. In front of them, the formal garden creates a calm and elegant setting, making it one of the most beautiful and peaceful places in Lisbon. It's now time to move on. I arrive at Rua Nova do Carvalho, better known as Pink Street. It was painted pink as a part of an urban renewal project to transform this area into a lovely public space. Once a nightlife zone, it's now one of the most colorful and popular streets in Lisbon, full of cafes, bars and people enjoying the day. Now a quick stop at Sede Lisboa, the Lisbon Cathedral. Built in the 12th century, it's the oldest church in the city. My next stop is the Elevador da Bica in the Bica neighborhood. It looks like a classic yellow tram, but it's actually one of Lisbon's seal elevators, built for this steep street. It connects Rua de São Paulo at the bottom with Rua do Loreto near Barrio Alto at the top. I move forward to Miradouro de São Pedro de Alcântara, one of Lisbon's most famous viewpoints. Located in Barrio Alto, it offers a wide panoramic view over the city with Castello de São Jorge standing right in front of me. Locals and travelers gather here to relax, enjoy a drink and watch the city slow down as the light changes. This is a great place to enjoy a beer. I move on to Rossio, one of Lisbon's most iconic squares. Officially known as Praça Dom Pedro IV, it has been a central meeting point for centuries. I keep moving for a short walk through the Bica area, one of Lisbon's steep and picturesque neighborhoods. This part of the city is famous for its narrow streets, stairways and small cafes built into the hillside. Nearby you can often see Tram 28, one of Lisbon's most iconic tram lines. I showed you everything I saw in 1 day and a half in Lisbon. Hey guys, this episode is over. I hope that you enjoyed. See you soon. Bye!